Okay, so today we are doing Surah Al-Falaq. That is Surah 113. And we'll start with the translation and then explanation. So Shazia, go ahead. Again, from the beginning. Read the Arabic, then the translation, and then up to the marker that I indicated.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق. Say, I seek refuge with the Lord of the rising day. 1. As Kul say is a part of the message which was conveyed to the Prophet, peace be upon him, by revelation for preaching his prophetic message. Its first addressee is the Prophet, peace be upon him himself, but after him every believer is also its addressee. 2. The act of seeking refuge necessarily consists of three parts. 1. The act of seeking refuge itself. 2. The seeker of refuge. 3. He whose refuge is sought.
So Jessica pointed out a few or underlined a few words. If you can say those and then read the same passage.
Sure. I also wanted to point out the two words rising day. Many English speakers just refer to that as dawn. And even when I learned this prayer, I just learned, say I seek refuge with the Lord of the dawn. And that's usually used more common than rising day, but that's just something I wanted to point out. Okay, so Lord, there's rising day or dawn, prophetic message, so a message from a prophet. He whose refuge is sought. Whose.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. And can you read this surah in Arabic or not yet?
Yeah, I can do the Arabic too. Hold on just 1 second. I just gotta get some water. Okay, sorry. Thank you for waiting. Okay, so A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq. So say I seek refuge with the Lord of the rising day. As Qul, say, is a part of the message which was conveyed to the Prophet, peace be upon him, by revelation for preaching his prophetic message. Its first addressee is the Prophet, peace be upon him, himself. But after him, every believer is also its addressee. The act of seeking refuge necessarily consists of three parts. 1. The act of seeking refuge itself. 2. The seeker of refuge. 3. He whose refuge is sought.
Okay, so the seeker could be, me, myself, right? Or whoever else. And he whose refuge is sought, and that would be Allah, right?
Right.
Okay. So let's do next. Sania. Do you want to read the 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 lines?
She is not here.
Then the next one would be Mariam.
Maryam, Rashna, and Shayla is absent.
Okay. Sorry, I was just.
Are absent.
Okay, so let's go with the Shazib.
Seeking refuge implies feeling fear of something and seeking protection of another, or taking cover of it, or clinging to it, or going under its shelter for safety. The seeker after refuge in any case is the person who feels that he cannot by himself resist and fight the things that he fears, but stand in, in need of refuge with another for protection, then the one whose refuge is sought must necessarily be a person or being about whom the seeker after refuge believes that he or it alone can protect him from the calamity.
Very nice. Okay, the last sentence was very long, so I think I have to read that sentence once or twice myself to understand it. Sorry, repeat at least once or twice. So, Jessica, there are a few words that I underlined. Anything else I should?
Yeah, those were the main things I noticed as well.
Okay.
Shall I go ahead and do the underlined words?
Yes, please.
Okay. Stands, thought, necessarily, calamity.
Okay. Yeah, the stands was the word I think where S was just dropped. So
Yes.
I think Jessica has pointed that out earlier as well. And other than that, I think you did a very good job. So, Jessica, do you want to read the passage?
Sure. Seeking refuge implies feeling fear of something and seeking protection of another, or taking cover of it, or clinging to it, or going under its shelter for safety. The seeker after refuge, in any case, is the person who feels that he cannot by himself resist and fight the thing that he fears, but stands in need of refuge with another for protection. Then the one whose refuge is sought must necessarily be a person or being about whom the seeker after refuge believes that he or it alone can protect him from the calamity.
And the calamity would mean,
Like a disaster.
yeah, disaster, tragedy. Yeah, so
Right.
it's a pretty good word. Okay, so I'm gonna skip to the number 2. Okay, let's see. Is Abrar there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do you want to read number 2? The
Yes.
Arabic, and then up the mark.
Okay, sir. Min sharil waswasil khannas.
Uh-uh.
Sorry, sir. Min shari ma khalaq. From the evil of all the that he created.
Yep, and continue the translation until the
A
marker.
few things in this. Sorry, sir.
And continue. I couldn't hear you.
Can you repeat?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Min shari ma khalaq. From the evil of all that he created. For, in other words, I seek his refuge from the evil of all creatures. A few things in this sentence deserve consideration. First, that the creation of evil has not been attributed to Allah, but the creation of creatures has been attributed to Allah and of evil to the creatures. That is, it has not been said, I seek refuge from the evils that Allah has created, but that I seek refuge from the evil of the things He has created. This shows that Allah has not created any creature for the sake of evil, but all His work is for the sake of good and a special purpose. However, from the qualities that He has created in the creatures, fulfill the purpose of their creation. Sometimes evil appears from some kind of creatures in most cases.
Okay. So very good. I think there was one word that was mispronounced multiple times, so I underlined it. Jessica, do you want to say the words and then read the Arabic and explanation?
Yeah, so min shari ma halak, creatures, sentence, kinds, cases.
Okay. First one, can you say that again? Because that was repeated multiple times.
Oh, creatures.
Okay, so let me write the verb form here. How do you say the word with the verb form?
Create.
Okay, so create. Like number 8 at the end, that's what the sound comes.
Yes, exactly.
But when you say the word, the noun form, that's creatures.
Yeah, exactly.
Not creatures.
Right.
I think another similar word is
Yes, features.
right. So when you go from verb to noun form, you just have to be a little careful. It's a create, and I think there's a reason to say creature to replicate the sound, but the sound here is very different. So just like when I think of the word feature back home, it was used a lot of times in feature film or something. So features, creatures is said the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and then can you read the translation, please, and the explanation?
Sure. So from the evil of all that he created. In other words, I seek refuge from the evil of all creatures. A few things in this sentence deserve consideration. First, that the creation of evil has not been attributed to Allah, but the creation of creatures has been attributed to Allah, and of evil to the creatures. That is, it has not been said, I seek refuge from the evils that Allah has created, but that I seek refuge from the evil of the things he has created. This shows that Allah has not created any creature for the sake of evil, but all his work is for the sake of good and a special purpose. However, from the qualities that he has created in the creatures to fulfill the purpose of their creation, sometimes evil appears from some kinds of creatures in most cases.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting paragraph and fascinating for me. Okay, so the next paragraph, Bushra, you want to read that? Bushra, you there? Okay, I cannot hear you. So, Rabia, do you want to read that?
Okay, sir. Second, that even if this one sentence was given and no mention made of seeking Allah's refuge separately from the evils of some particular kinds of creatures in the following sentences, this one sentence alone would have sufficed to express the intent. For in it Allah's refuge has been sought from the evil of all creatures. After this general prayer for refuge, making mention of seeking refuge from some particular evils by itself gives this meaning. Though I seek Allah refuge from the evil of everything created by Allah. I stand in great need of Allah's refuge
from the particular evils that have been mentioned in the remaining verses of Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas.
Okay, thank you. All right. So Jessica, do you want to repeat the words that I underlined and then read the translation, please?
Sure.
And feel free to add any comments you would like.
Creatures. So once again, not the creatures, but the creatures, like feature. Sufficed, general, though, Allah's refuge, and particular.
Thank you. And do you want to read the translation? Sorry, the explanation.
Oh, yeah, the paragraph, sure. Second, that even if this one sentence was given and no mention made of seeking Allah's refuge, separately from the evils of some particular kinds of creatures, in the following sentences, this one sentence alone would have sufficed to express the intent, for in it Allah's refuge has been sought from the evil of all creatures. After this general prayer for refuge, making mention of seeking refuge from some particular evils, by itself gives this meaning: though I seek Allah's refuge from the evil of everything created by Allah, I stand in great need of Allah's refuge from the particular evils that have been mentioned in the remaining verses of Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to skip the next few sections so we make sure that we cover the whole surah. But please read all of these, and if you are having issues with saying something or understanding something, we can have a follow-up conversation. Okay, so we're going to go to the number 3 here. Sumer, do you want to read that? Read the Arabic, then the translation, and then let's see here. Up to.
Sure, sir. Min sharri ghasiqin iza waqab. From the evil of the night's darkness when it spreads around. After seeking Allah's refuge, generally from the evil of creature. Now, prayer is being taught for seeking refuge from the evil of some special creature in particular. The word Ghasiq in the
Well,
verse
your voice is not clear.
It's very dim.
Should I read?
Yeah, keep reading. I can hear you. It's not. It's very dim. So let's just finish it.
Thus, at another place in the Quran, it has been said, establish the salat from the declining of the sun to the darkness of the night. Ila ghasik ila ghasik ila lail. And wakab means to enter the overspread.
Okay, thank you. So, Mayor, I think there's some problem with your headphone, so your voice is very.
Sir, I am without headphone now, but here is the weather is very bad, so that's why the signal is very weak.
Okay, that's fine. I think there was only a missing S at the end of one word. So, Jessica, was there any other word that you wanted to?
Yeah, I think as he said creatures, he corrected himself, so that was good.
That was very good. That was very good.
Yeah.
Because I think we get in the habit of create, and I can relate to it because I had that trouble myself. And then it takes a while to correct yourself that it's not creature, it's just creatures. Okay, so do you want to read the 2 words and then reread the Arabic, the translation, and up to the marker for the explanation?
Sure. So spreads,
okay.
And creatures.
Creatures, yeah.
No. So وَمِن شَرِّ Second, shoot, I messed this one up because some of these are. Let me just think about it. So it's وَمِن شُرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ. I think. Don't learn Arabic for me. Just English. My Arabic is not the best. I would say the word they were talking about, darkness, غاسق, like that's very difficult for English speakers. All right. So I'll read the English now. From the evil of night's darkness, when it spreads around, after seeking Allah's refuge, generally from the evil of the creatures, now prayer is being taught for seeking refuge from the evil of some special creatures in particular. The word ghasik in the verse literally means dark. Thus, at another place in the Quran, it has been said, establish the salat from the declining of the sun to the darkness of the night. Allah ghasik illal. And waqab means enter or to overspread.
Okay. Thank you. So for me, actually, it's very encouraging to hear you speak Arabic, and it's a language that you are learning, just like these students are trying to learn English. So there's quite a good panel there.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, that's a struggle.
Yeah. So on a side note, what is the main frustration you feel when you are trying to learn Arabic?
I guess, well, I'm learning Spanish as well, but I see that Arabic for me as an English speaker is a lot harder because one, I have to learn a new alphabet, so I struggle with that. And two, there's certain letters in the Arabic alphabet, like the ghain, that are very difficult for English speakers to pronounce because we just have that letter or some of the other letters in Arabic. Whereas I would say for me, a language like Spanish is a lot easier because it's all written with the same alphabet as English. And, a lot of the pronunciations and the letters are things that we also have.
Okay. So it's I guess the additional sounds.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think once you're done with Spanish, next gotta be French.
Oh gosh, that'll be hard.
Well, that's one of the things that I see a lot of people in Mecca, where I am currently. A lot of people here from Maghreb, from North Africa, so Morocco, Algeria,
So they speak French.
Tunisia. Yeah, so they every time in the elevators, it's and there are a lot of French speaking. So I'm like, there's certain Parisian sentiment that comes right away, or I've gone to Tunisia, Morocco, so it brings a lot of memories from there.
Oh, that's interesting. I also know in Morocco, there's a lot of people who speak Spanish too.
Yeah, the north has a lot of Spanish-speaking people.
Yeah.
When my wife and I were in south of Spain, Granada, where Alhambra is, that's where you see like all the cultures kind of coming together, different languages, and all those different styles of architecture kind of fused together there.
Yeah, I went too. It's beautiful.
Okay. So, all right, so let's do the next section here. Okay, Vakas, do you want to read the next few lines?
Yes, sir. Prayer has been taught to seek refuge, in particular, from the evil of darkness of night, for most of the crimes and acts of wickedness are committed at night. Harmful animals also come out at night, and the night was a very dreadful thing in the time chase prevailed in Arabia. When these verses were revealed, raiders came out in the dark of night and plundered and destroyed settlements.
Okay, thank you. So I think some of the words were kind of chewed as you were talking about Vakas. So that's why I underlined multiple words in the same time. So, all right, Jessica, do you want to read the words and then read the whole passage?
Sure. So there's acts of wickedness. I think with harmful, you might have said harmful, but that H would be pronounced harmful. And then prevailed is what I heard. Plundered. Yeah.
And then over here was the
The darkness. Right.
darkness.
So prayer has been taught to seek refuge in particular from the evil of the darkness of night. For most of the crimes and acts of wickedness are committed at night. Harmful animals also come out at night. And the night was a very dreadful thing in the time chaos prevailed in Arabia. When these verses were revealed, leaders came out in the dark of night and plundered and destroyed settlements.
Okay. I have a favor to ask. Can you say these two words?
Okay, so villain and wickedness.
Okay. Yeah. The reason I was actually thinking of two words where V and W can be said at the same time for comparison, because they have similar yet different sounds. So
yeah.
Okay. So very good. Okay. Let's see here. Next, Abrar. Do you want to finish this paragraph?
Sure, sir. The people who were thinking of putting the Prophet, peace be upon him, death, also made their secret plans at night, so that the murder could not be detected. Therefore, command was given to seek Allah's refuge from the evils and calamities which descend at night. Here, the subtle relation that exists between seeking refuge from the evil of the dark night with the Lord of breaking dawn cannot remain hidden from anybody having insight and understanding.
Okay. I think, Abrar, you ran out of energy at the last word, so you did a very good job. Okay, so Jessica, there are a few words that I underlined for you.
Okay. Subtle.
Okay. So what happens to the B here?
It basically becomes silent.
Okay, thank you.
Lord.
So here the O sounds like O versus when we say
God.
God.
Lord.
Yeah, so God. So in Lord, the word O sounds like O, but in God, the O sounds more like Aleph.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, this was another comparison. I was looking for the right comparison so I can... So here is Aleph, yeah, or Aleph. Okay, so just, a few very common and very useful distinctions. And the last word here, Jessica, was?
Understanding.
Understand. Okay, yeah. I think you meant to say it right, but you just didn't finish the word, Abrar. So do you want to finish the...
Okay. The people who were thinking of putting the Prophet, peace be upon him, to death, also made their secret plans at night, so that the murder could not be detected. Therefore, command was given to seek Allah's refuge from the evils and calamities which descend at night. Here, the subtle relation that exists between seeking refuge from the evil of the dark night with the Lord of Breaking Dawn cannot remain hidden from anybody having insight and understanding.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So given the time, let's move on to number 4 here. Shazia, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Can you read number 4, then the translation, and then up to the marker?
Sure, sir. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. From the evil of the women who blow and knot on knots. The word akad in nafat fil ukad is plural of akad, which means a knot that is tied on a string or piece of thread. Nafat means to blow. Nafat is plural of nafat, which may mean the men who blow much. And if taken as a feminine gender, a woman who blow much. It may as well relate to nufus, human being, or to jannats, group of men. For both nafas and jamaat are grammatically feminine, blowing upon knots according to most, rather all, commentators imply magic. For the magicians usually tie knots on a string or thread and blow upon them as they do so. Thus, the words mean, I seek refuge with the Lord of rising dawn from the evil of magicians, male and female.
Very good. Thank you. So I think there was the word not that was repeated multiple times. So I just underlined it once. So Jessica, how would you say that? And then the rest of the underlined words?
Knots.
So you will not say notes, right? So there are two things here. K is silent.
Yeah.
And O sounds more like alif or alif.
Yeah.
So knots. Okay.
Not. Yeah.
Okay.
Feminine. Gender. Beings.
And this was a word where S was again not said. And I think the next word that I underlined is an Arabic word and also an Urdu word that I think you just didn't make the connection. So Jamaat. Okay. And then I think the same word was repeated and I just underlined it again. So because this word will be used a lot. So Jessica, you want to just for emphasis say it again?
Feminine.
Feminine. Okay.
Commentators.
Okay. Commentators. And then
Means
again S at the end. So I think this was something Jessica pointed out in the first lesson that you guys are missing some S's. Okay, so Jessica, now you struggle with the Arabic and some translation and explanation. And it's actually I think it's very encouraging to like when all of us are trying to learn something new, it's a struggle.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. When I learned the English translation of this, I also learned from the evil of those who practice secret arts. So, because I think a lot of English speakers don't know about this whole blow on knots thing, so we just were told that it was kind of like the dark arts or secret arts or something like that.
So sorry, can you say what did you read? What the translation?
Oh, from the evil of those who practice secret arts. That's an English translation of that I learned.
Yeah. who practice secret arts.
Like, I guess it's like witchcraft or black magic or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, like the black magic is something that Americans or Westerns are very familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fairly common in Pakistan and in the Eastern cultures as well. There's a concept of evil eye,
Oh,
uh,
yes.
and so when you're going from one language to another, a lot of times the concept becomes more important than the words.
Right.
So
Right.
I think this is a great example of that we're trying to understand the essence of the passage here. So let me just explain that in Urdu. So अभी जैसिका ने आप लोगों को बताया कि जब उसने ये चीज़ें पढ़ी हैं तो उसने ये लफ्ज़ उसकी ट्रांसलेशन में नहीं था. लफ्ज़ जो है नॉट, उर्दू में इसको क्या कहते हैं जब आप किसी चीज़ को धागे को बांधते हैं, घिरा देते हैं?
सर गिरा ही कहते हैं.
So gira. Okay. So जब गिरा को उर्दू इंग्लिश में लफ्ज़ है नाट, लेकिन वो जब गिरे को गिरा लगाते हैं फिर उसको जो जादू टोना करते हैं तो जादू यानी ये जादू टोने की बात हो रही है. तो जब क्योंकि इस तरह जब अमेरिकन लोग होते हैं तो उनको इस कॉन्सेप्ट का पता नहीं है, तो ट्रांसलेशन में कई दफ़ा लफ्ज़ी मतलब की बजाय होता है कि अच्छा जी यहाँ पे मैसेज क्या है. तो जो उसने ट्रांसलेशन पढ़ी है उसमें मैसेज पे ज़्यादा फोकस है कि हाँ जी ये इसमें वो काले जादू की बात हो रही है. तो काले जादू को हम ब्लैक मैजिक भी कह सकते हैं, सीक्रेट आर्ट भी कह सकते हैं. ओके, सो thanks for your patience, Jessica. So do you want to read the explanation?
Sure. From the evil of the women who blow on knots. The word akad in nafasati fil lakad is plural of akad, which means a knot that is tied on a string or a piece of thread. Nafat means to blow. Nafasat is plural of nafatha, which may mean the men who blow much, and if taken as a feminine gender, women who blow much. It may as well relate to nafas, human beings, or to jamats, groups of men. For both nafas and jamat are grammatically feminine. Blowing upon knots, according to most, rather all, commentators, imply magic, where the magicians usually tie knots on a string or a thread and blow upon them as they do so. Thus, the verses mean, I seek refuge with the Lord of rising dawn from the evil of magicians, male and female.
Very good, thank you. And I don't know if you guys noticed when Jessica was reading, that's the verse means.
Oh, I made a mistake. Yeah, it's the verse means, but sometimes even English speakers can make mistakes as they read.
Yeah, and we make mistakes all the time, right?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
It's like a lot of times when I'm reading, I make mistakes. I was like, and then by the end, I was like, oh, this doesn't make sense, and I'll go back. So it's perfectly fine if you make a mistake. It's at the end of the day, you make mistakes and you learn from them. So it's no big deal at all. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the last verse here. And let's see who has their hands up. We'll go with Muzammal. Muzammal, please read the Arabic and then the translation and then up to the marker.
وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ, and from the evil of the envier when he envies. Hasad means that a person should feel unhappy at the better fortune, superiority, or good quality that Allah has granted to another and should wish that it should be taken away from the other person and given to him, or at least the other one should be deprived of it. However, hasad does not mean that a person should wish that he he too should be blessed with the bounty that the other one has been blessed with. Here Allah's refuge has been sought from the evil of the jealous one when he feels jealous and takes a practical step with word or deed to specify his heart.
Okay. So I think there was a word of evil and envy that was multiple times. So Jessica, do you want to repeat the underlined words and then translation? Feel free to add any comments.
Sure. Evil, envier, envies,
Okay.
fortune, superiority. That's a tough one. Deprived, jealous one, and satisfy.
Okay. And I, as a comparison, put another word here on top. Can you see that?
Driven. Does that say driven?
Yeah. Now I got now I gotta fix my terrible handwriting.
Mine's worse. I could be a doctor.
so driven versus deprived. I think so it's the word I hear has different sound based on the combination. So I think Waqas said deprived or something. So it's you just have to be introduced to different places where the letter is used. So it's when you say driven, the sound is different. When you say deprived, it's a little different. Okay, so Jessica, your turn to read the Arabic translation and then explanation.
Okay. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And from the evil of the envier when he envies. Hasad means that a person should feel unhappy at the better fortune, superiority, or good quality that Allah has granted to another, and should wish that it should be taken away from the other person and given to him, or at least the other one should be deprived of it. However, hasad does not mean that a person should wish that he too should be blessed with the bounty that the other one has been blessed with. Here, Allah's refuge has been sought from the evil of the jealous one when he feels jealous and takes a practical step with word or deed to satisfy his heart.
So very, very good. So I think we're end of the hour. I'm sorry, I had a little bit of technical issues which cut our time. And for the next session, we'll do Surah 112. I think you guys have kind of now gotten into the rhythm. So I think I want to figure out what's the best way to kind of get to the words that you were struggling with. So I will work with you guys, and then if we need to change the format, we can. In terms of timing, we will go back and forth and decide. And Jessica, I'm sorry you had to chase me down to nail down the timing for this session.
Oh, that's okay. I know you're going to Umrah, so it's lots of stuff going on. It's all good.
Yeah, I appreciate your help. And second, I am also thankful that you were able to send me the PDF.
Yeah, and it was good seeing you all, and you all are doing a really good job.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, ma'am. Allah Hafiz, ma'am.
Salam.
Yeah, so I'm done with the Umrah. Yeah, and if anybody wants, that's fine.
और अल्लाह ताला आपका उम्र कबूल फरमाए.
Thank you. So I have done. I did the Umrah the first day. I was tired because I had come from a long flight, and when I was in Istanbul, I took some. I just went to see a few places in the city. In particular, I wanted to, because I was coming to Saudi Arabia I wanted to go see the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. I've seen that mosque before, and then I wanted to go to Hagia Sophia, which was a church, then it was a mosque, then it was a museum, and then it was converted again to a mosque recently. So I went to see those two things, and then because I was coming to Saudi Arabia, I also went to a hammam there. So that's where it's part of the Turkish hygiene tradition. So anyways, when I came here, I was just I think my flight was long and I had exhausted myself, so I did the Umrah because I was feeling pretty good in the beginning of it, but then it was hot. I did a few circles and maybe I didn't have enough water with me. I felt very tired, but then when you run in between the two mountains or really kind of walk, and it's actually all indoors, so it was a little bit challenging, but it also gave me the appreciation of belief and faith. So those were just, I guess, some quick comments on your question, Brock. So Jessica, if you want, if you don't have to stay. If you have time, we can have a conversation.
Oh, I actually have to leave, but it was good seeing you all, and thank you for telling us about your time at Umrah.
Yeah. So yeah, Brock just asked a question right as we were saying goodbye, so I was just commenting on that.
Sure.
So Jessica, I'll let you leave, and if they have any questions, I'll just have the conversation. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
نہیں سر اب آپ کا انتظار ہے سر پاکستان آنے کا.
Yeah, so آج جو آپ نے سیشن کی ہے آپ لوگوں کا فلو بند ہے, تو ہم نے ہر جملہ جو ہے آخر اور ہر ایکسپلینیشن جو ہے وہ آخر تک نہیں پڑھی ہے. آپ لوگوں نے پڑھی ہے آخر تک ہر آیت کی ایکسپلینیشن؟
ون ٹائم پڑھی.
اوکے, سو آپ لوگوں کو ایک ٹائم تو آپ نے پڑھی ہے. ٹرائی ٹو, آپ میں سے کچھ لوگوں کو ایک ٹائم پڑھنے کی ضرورت ہے, کچھ کو 10 دفعہ پڑھنے کی ضرورت ہے, تاکہ آپ کو یہ فقرے کی سمجھ آ جائے. اوکے, فقرے کے بعد آپ کو ڈائلاگ کی, ایک پیرے کی سمجھ آنی چاہیے. ہر پیرے میں یوزلی ایک ٹاپک پہ بات ہو رہی ہوتی ہے. اوکے, یوزلی ایونچولی ایک کانسیپٹ کی بات ہو رہی ہوتی ہے. اوکے, سو آپ نے جیسے پہلے والے جو پہلی آیت تھی, اس میں اس کے 2 حصے تھے, پھر ہر حصے کے آگے سے سب پارٹس تھے. اوکے, پارٹ اور سب پارٹ. سو یہ آپ کو تھوڑا سا اس سے آپ کو محنت کرنی پڑے گی آپ کو, اور وہ خود سے پڑھنا پڑے گا. اگر آپ کو اس کی PDF نہیں ہے تو آپ آن لائن جا کے بنا سکتے ہیں. پھر بھی نہیں, آپ مجھے کہہ سکتے ہیں کہ میں آپ کے ساتھ یہ شیئر کر سکتا ہوں. ٹھیک ہے.
جی سر.
تو اینی ویز, مجھ سے زیادہ جیسیکا سے زیادہ آپ لوگوں کو محنت کرنے کی ضرورت ہے, کہ ہم ایک گھنٹے کے لیسن کے لیے آپ کو 2-3 گھنٹے خود سے محنت کرنی پڑے گی. جو اگر آپ شروع میں آپ کو زیادہ محنت کرنی پڑے گی, آہستہ آہستہ آپ کی محنت کم ہوتی جائے گی. So one quick comment. Let me find some empty space here. جب آپ کو نئی چیز سیکھتے ہیں, جب آپ کوئی چیز گراف سے سیکھتے ہیں, آپ زیرو سے جب آپ سیکھتے ہیں, تو شروع میں آپ کی جو محنت جو ہے کہ آپ کی پروگریس کیسے ہوتی ہے. ویسے ٹائم گزرتا ہے تو شروع میں آپ کی ایفرٹ جو ہے شروع میں آپ کو زیادہ لگانی پڑتی ہے. اوکے, جب آپ انڈرسٹینڈنگ کر رہے ہیں کسی چیز کی بھی, ٹھیک ہے, اگر کوئی چیز آپ انڈرسٹینڈ کرنے کی کوشش کر رہے ہیں تو یہ ٹائم اور ایفرٹ پہ ڈیپینڈ کرے گی. اوکے شروع میں جب آپ شروع کریں تو آپ کی ایفرٹ جو ہے کافی ہائی ہوئے گی. You can put that 1 day 2 day, اچھا جی یہ پہلا دن ہے, یہ دوسرا دن ہے, یا پہلا سیشن ہے, یا دوسرا سیشن ہے, یا تیسرا سیشن ہے, so on and so on. So ایفرٹ جو ہے وہ آپ لوگوں نے لگانی ہے. اور جیسے میں نے آپ سے بولا ہے کہ میں ہر ایک سیشن کے بعد آپ کا ملٹی پلائر ہے 3. اوکے سو آپ لوگوں نے ہر ایک سیشن کے بعد 2-3 گھنٹے آپ کو لگانے پڑیں گے اگر آپ سیریس ہیں سیکھنے کے لیے. اگر آپ شوگر مول کر رہے ہیں تو پھر 0 بھی لگا سکتے ہیں آپ. اوکے سو those were my comments on just understanding the religion, understanding anything. اگر آپ کی آپ لوگوں نے مجھے بولا ہے کہ آپ کی قرآن میں انٹرسٹ ہے تو یہ قرآن کے ہم ٹاپکس کو یوز کریں 2 چیزیں سیکھنے کے لیے کہ ہماری ایک ریلیجن کی انڈرسٹینڈنگ تھوڑی سی امپروو ہو جائے اور انگلش کی انڈرسٹینڈنگ تھوڑی سی امپروو ہو جائے. پرسنلی اس میں مجھے جو سب سے بڑا فائدہ ہوتا ہے کہ میں اس ٹائم میں فورس ہوتا ہوں کہ میں سوچ سکوں کہ ریلیجن کیا کہہ رہا ہے. یہ عربک پڑھنا بہت سمپل چیز ہے لیکن اس کی ٹرانسلیشن پڑھنا پھر سوچنا کہ میں اپنی اس کو میری کیا سمجھ تھی اور مجھے اپنی سمجھ کو کیسے بڑھانا ہے. اگین آپ لوگ اردو میں بھی پڑھ سکتے ہیں, انگلش میں بھی پڑھ سکتے ہیں, تو مے بی آپ کو اس کا ٹائم بنانا پڑے گا. Any issues you guys are having?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, everybody. Thank you for your time.